My name is Edward, and I am the creator of the Jack Files, one of the files that you're watching right now. This is about school shootings, and this is part one because I don't think I'm going to be able to get it done in one single file. I'm hoping I get it done in two. I just read about a case where a boy 3 years ago walked into a school, wounded a couple of people after killing his father. And when I read about things like this, I think to myself, that could have been prevented. And people don't understand is that while these things can't be prevented, nobody wants to prevent them. And I know you're thinking to yourself, what the hell is he talking about? Everybody wants to prevent school shootings. That's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. Because metal detectors and psych exams are deterrents. And no deterrent has ever won against a course of action that it was actually facing against. If children are determined to kill other children, nothing you do and say will stop them. And if you're asking yourself, well, how could this happen? How could this happen? I want to share something with you really quick. Antisocial, different, loner, difficult, aggressive. I'm not talking about any of the schools or any of the shootings that has ever happened. I'm actually talking about myself in high school. That's not how I saw myself. That's how I was labeled. And because I was labeled this, I was called a problem child. Since I was a problem child, I was watched all the time by the constables, teachers, anyone of authority watched me. And what you don't understand when you hear that is that all of these other kids were called depressive, lonely, aggressive, loners, difficult, and they were labeled problem child. You know, they were called loners. And when you alienate a child and you label them, a child can see the difference. They can feel the difference about how you treat them. And I knew that there was a difference. And I didn't want to be any of those things. I just wanted to be myself. And being myself meant reading a lot, writing poetry, you know, generally doing things that I wanted to do. I didn't want to play football. I didn't want to play baseball. I didn't want to do any of the things that all of the cool kids did. I just wanted to do the things that made me happy. And as far as I was concerned, those things made me happy. And other people couldn't appreciate that. I didn't really care. And because I didn't care what they thought, it led to a lot of arguments, which led to a lot of fights. And you know what? It happens. Fights happened all the time. And while some people may think, you know, feel bad for me, don't. I fought back because I wanted people to realize I wasn't going to be pushed around. And a lot of these kids fought back too. That's what people don't understand. These kids fought back too. And what happened? What became of it? Nothing. What becomes of things when I fought back? Nothing. People tried to expel me because I was labeled a problem child. But because I was always performing self-defense, the school could not legally kick me out without kicking out the other person. And that was never going to happen. They were not going to kick out a person in their mind was regular, was social, was someone who's part of the in-group, who was a football player, baseball player, the son of a teacher or a city, school council member. You know, I mean, nobody was going to do anything against these kids because they were conformist. I wasn't. And my life was very harsh in high school. Don't feel sorry for me. I really don't care now. It builds character. It made me who I am. I was able to overcome all of these things because I put faith in the fact that I could fight back. I could always fight back. I never stopped fighting back. If you threw a punch at me, I threw one at you. But let me share with you some very painful and very private information. The reason I'm doing this is because I want some people that watch this to understand what some of these kids go through, and people do not stop. This is what I mean when I say that nobody cared, nobody interfered. And because nobody cares and nobody interferes, school shootings will never stop. Someday they will become an epidemic. And no amount of metal detectors and psych exams are going to be able to deter kids from killing other students. You want to hear about some personal things that happened? Things that happened while I was in the protective care of a school, namely Rio Hondo High School. I was beat up. I got knocked the hell out. I'm not gonna lie, I got knocked the fuck out from behind and got left on the ground while other students were walking up and down the hallway, and someone pissed on me. That's right, I'm not making this up. Somebody literally whipped out their dick and pissed on me. And nobody did anything. They thought it was funny. I got knocked down a flight of stairs after fighting back one of these football players. I don't know why I just did that. Football players, and his buddies knocked me down the stairs. Not like several flights of stairs, just one flight of stairs. And people thought it was funny. People thought it was funny. I sat at a table during lunch, and one guy walked up to me and dumped his food on me on accident. Bullshit. I saw him walking right towards me in the perfect angle to drop his food on me, and everybody laughed. Everybody laughed. There was one time where I was fighting two people. Fist to fist, hand to hand. I kicked one in the nuts, and he went down. The other guy came at me, and I got lucky. I managed to get him in the arm lock, and slammed him face first in the ground. Now I'm bleeding at this point. I'm not going to say that I was unfazed. I was Superman, and I got away without a scratch on me. Bullshit. I had a black eye. I had a busted nose. I got a split lip. One of my teeth got cracked. Now I'm bleeding from my nose and from my mouth. I've got a black eye, and the cop handcuffs me, just me, to the ground, brushes me down to the ground, handcuffs me, and then drags me away to the principal's office. While I'm screaming at him, "What about them? What about them?" One of the unbiased teachers sees this, runs up to him, and just starts telling him, "What about those? Are you going to call the other constables on them?" He goes, "No." This kid assaulted them, and I'm the one bleeding. And I yelled out, "It's 2-on-1." You know, and the teacher's like, "I'm gonna call your mother." I said, "I'm gonna do more than that. I'm gonna call a lawyer. I'm gonna call a lawyer." My mom came down, and there was a lot of battles, and they tried to say something. My mother's main point of view was, "Where are the other kids?" They're like, they're in the nurse's office getting tended to. And my mom's first reaction was, "What about my son? Why didn't you tend to him?" I go, "He's bleeding." I go, "He's still bleeding." It took my mom 20 minutes to get there, and nobody bothered to get anything from my face. I was bleeding from my nose the entire time. I was lightheaded at that point. I had trouble sitting still. I was weaving a little bit because I had lost a lot of blood. And when my mom saw me, I was pale as hell, and she got pissed. She was like, you refused medical care to my son, and you sent the people that assaulted him to the nurse's office." And the principal tried to come up with some story that said that, "Oh no, your son was the attacker." She's like, "Look at my son. Do you think that he attacked anybody first? He's got bruises on his chest, his face, his nose is busted. It may be broken. His lip is split. He's coughing up blood. I don't believe for a second my son took on two people at the same time." That's a personal story. That actually happened. All three of us got into school suspension. This is part 1 of school shootings on the Jack Files. Don't forget, it's about freedom of speech. If you don't use it, somebody might take it away. Peace.